morning, and thank you for tuning in to the Andrew Tate Show, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. We've got a great show for you guys today. We'll be covering Super Bowl 58 viral moments, the effect of name, image, and likeness towards the Super Bowl draft, a woman who falls into a dumpster after tossing trash, and make sure you stick around for later in the show when we'll be diving into the oddities of the day. Before we start, I would just like to ask that you like and follow the show. Also, we get a number of questions from viewers that come in during the show, so to ensure that your question gets read on the air, I ask that you use the tips and donation link with your question. The tips and donation link is streamelements.com/gsmcsportsnetwork./tip. This puts your question at the top of the list so that I can see it, and it also just really helps the show. Hello, Tate. How are you?
Good morning, Miss Faith. How are you?
I'm good. I'm a lot more alert than yesterday.
I can see it in you.
I got a full 8 hours yesterday.
Okay. So before the show, the whole SpongeBob halftime show and the Nickelodeon broadcast. So I actually caught a little bit of it, and I was telling Faith before we started that it's a lot cooler than I thought it would be. A kid would love it.
Mm-hmm.
Then another thing, I have to give you a warning just in case you and the audience a warning. Today is Carnival.
Oh yeah, I was going to say Happy Mardi Gras.
Carnival. Yes. Carnival is a big deal in Portugal. And in the town I'm in, I'm right by the ocean and the city center. Do not be surprised if all of a sudden, out of nowhere, midway through the show, you start hearing a bunch of music and people yelling and screaming. And
it'll be a nice addition.
You know, I don't know how racy the costumes will be, but no one will see the costumes. I'll see the costumes, but everyone else will not. So if it gets a little out of hand, then warning, Faith, if it gets too crazy, you may have to finish the show on your own.
Great.
But if not, if it gets a little noisy, I apologize in advance. And Faith is like, I am not prepared to do this show by myself today.
Let's hope it doesn't get too bad.
Right now, nothing's happened yet, so I don't know what time it starts.
Fingers
but
crossed.
It's noon. It's noon here, and the road is all like blocked off, so it could go. Things could be popping off any second, or even after the show.
Well, fingers crossed that it happens after the show. So I do this by myself.
I have total faith in you.
Hilarious. I haven't heard that one before.
Total faith, blind faith. You know, I tell you that all the time. I totally have blind faith in you, especially on people do not realize how much blind faith I have. How much blind faith I have in faith.
Yeah. Alrighty.
Okay.
Well, today we're going to be talking about the Super Bowl 58 viral moments that happened on Sunday night. So if you don't know, last year, because the Chiefs won the Super Bowl, they had a victory parade in Kansas City. When the Kansas City Chiefs won the Super Bowl last year, close to 1 million flooded the streets of downtown for a victory parade to rally. To celebrate their second win in a row, this Wednesday event could bring even more. I wonder how many people are going to show up for that. People from Kansas City and then people from out of town as well.
I'm definitely saying it's just as many as last time, if not a few more. I've been to a few victory parades. The craziest one of all is when the Cleveland Cavaliers won. I think there was like 2-3 million people there. That was a madhouse.
Yeah. I don't
So
how big is Kansas City? I've never been. Is it?
It feels like it's a bigger city, but it has a small town feel. It's not I hate saying it's not a major city, but it's not like it's just kind of, it has its own little unique feel to it.
Yeah.
It's definitely not Atlanta. Do not even think close to Atlanta. I mean, as far as size goes, I'm using that because Faith is from Georgia.
Yeah.
So let's say like Birmingham.
Okay.
Have you ever been to Birmingham?
No, but I know the size wise of Birmingham, so.
And people in Missouri, do not attack me because I just compared it to Birmingham. I'm just using a point of reference that Miss Faith would understand.
Well, I guess if it's, not as big as Atlanta, 100 million people flooding the city for a parade, whew, I would not want to be there.
Not a couple of million, not a million, or not 100 million. That's a party.
Yeah.
I'm flying 100 million. I'm flying in for that one.
Alrighty, another viral moment. Beyonce released new music during the Super Bowl, teasing more to come. She teased, confirmed, and dropped new music in the span of less than an hour. She promoted it, I believe, with the Verizon commercial that happened during the Super Bowl. So, I know you're a Beyonce fan. So
not necessarily. There's some of her music I like. I'm more of a fan for the wrong reasons.
I see.
That's all. Not I like a Swiftie. I'm not really into the music, but the production.
You're more of an into person than
yeah. Then you understand.
Yeah.
Okay. Couple of things with Beyonce. And maybe you can set me straight on one of them. Number one, she's releasing some of the music from her new album, and also they're gearing up for her next concert, which they're saying like the Taylor Swift concert may be the biggest concert in history series. Right. And they're thinking that it may get broken by Beyonce is the one that may break it. And I was pretty confident that was going to happen. Okay, is this true? Do you know this or not? They're saying that Beyonce's new album could be a country album.
I have not heard that. I don't know.
I saw that and I'm like, what in the who?
Beyonce doing country? That sounds
weird.
Yeah.
But I just saw from Outkast just release a flute album. You know what I mean? I always get them mixed up, but the one guy from Outkast is a rap group, famous group. And then the one guy, he released an album. Everyone was all excited about it. And he was just playing weird flutes. And I'm like, I'm glad I didn't buy that album. I'm glad I didn't pre-order that one.
It says, this is from the New York Times. Beyonce announces new country album, Act 2, after Super Bowl commercial.
That sounds crazy, right? See the look on your face? See, Beyonce, so even you're kind of like, what?
This is a big step away from like her stuff and like Destiny's Child, like country music. That's
I'm not crazy, right?
No.
Okay, how do you feel about Beyonce dropping a country album?
I don't know. I've never picked her as someone who even likes country music. So, I mean, for her to sing country music, I don't know. I guess.
Okay, before this news I just gave you, which I mean, I don't know how true it is. Who were you expecting more a collab with? Beyonce and Lil Wayne doing an album, or Beyonce and Dolly Parton? I'm not expecting you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Garth Brooks and Beyonce doing an album, doing a song together. Yeah,
that's insane to me.
I think it's kind of like sometimes people are going too far, like the whole flute album.
Yeah.
Mama say if it don't feel right, it ain't right. This don't feel right.
It does not feel right at all. No.
See, even when you looked it up and you saw the New York Times and you saw that could be a possibility,
Yeah.
the look on your face said it all. Like, what do you mean it's a country album? That just feels wrong.
Well, I guess, I mean, like Taylor Swift
I didn't mean to make this
started out
segment into
No.
but that's not that big of a transition. Taylor
from country to
Swift.
pop. So
No,
no.
that's just a little boot scoop boogie on over to just a little bit more drums.
Boot scoop boogie.
Yeah. All right. Didn't mean to go that far over on the edge there. All right.
Okay.
What's another one?
Here's one that I really want to talk about.
We
Rob
just made a segment.
Rob
All right, go
Gronkowski once again failed to kick a field goal as a part of the FanDuel Kick of Destiny promotion.
Okay, I didn't see this, so
You didn't see
you
that?
missed it again?
Yeah, and I don't understand how he missed it. It was so close in proximity to him.
Field goals are a lot harder than you think it is, especially everyone's looking at you.
I understand, but
Listen, I gave up doing field goals years ago. I remember we were at our high school field. This is I went back and just a bunch of guys just goofing around, and they were kicking field goals. And the one dude, he ripped his his groin and his glute trying to kick a field goal. He was like on the shelf for like 3 months. Oh no, I leave that to the trained professionals. I'm not getting out there on national TV and tearing my glutes while I'm trying to kick a field goal.
well, he is a professional, right?
Yes, Gronkowski may be the greatest tight end in history. Tight ends, they're muscular,
So
Shannon
he's
Sharp. No, he's not a kicker.
Oh,
He
okay.
used to be he's an
I
all-time
didn't know
great
that.
tight end.
I didn't know
So
that.
the argument is Gronkowski or is it Travis Kelce are the greatest two tight ends to ever play the game? And then
I see.
Shannon Sharp would be third or fourth, one of the top five. But those guys are normally bigger and muscular, maybe not as flexible. You got to follow through on that kick. And Gronk, reason why he had to retire, he had a lot of injuries. I could see why he missed a few.
Well, I think he did it once before and then he missed again. So you think he would practice for this?
Oh
so he
no!
wouldn't-
If you know anything about Grunk's living in the moment. He's probably out there. He's probably smashing beers on his head, hanging out, doing everything else. He's not practicing. He's gonna kick a field goal. He got other things to do. That doesn't surprise me at all. I haven't seen it, so I'm predicting he's gonna miss it next year. I don't even know if he's doing it next year, but he's missing it.
Oh gosh, that's crazy. So you remember, one of our topics for show last week was Elmo, right?
Yes. And
Elmo-
Elmo got beat down. I know he got beat down and choked out by Larry David. That's what I remember. So he may be, he's not through therapy yet. So let's see what's going on with Elmo.
Elmo tweeted on X during the Super Bowl. He said, "When both teams are red, it's hard for Elmo to pick which team to root for." In true sportsmanlike fashion, he added, "Elmo will cheer for both."
Okay, first off, hasn't Elmo had enough with the tweeting? He already has. This is how all this stuff started with Elmo with a
needs
tweet.
to get off social media.
Elmo needs to leave X alone. That sounds like a drug. Leave the X alone, Elmo.
Since
you got
he
beat
turned-
down.
Since he turned 3 years old, he's not old enough to be on social media anyway. So why is Elmo on Twitter?
Okay, the craziest, most raunchiest social media there is.
Yeah, the most outlandish
listen.
social media platform.
I have a rule in life when it comes to social media. Do not open X up in public. No. Because sometimes you don't even have to subscribe to it. As a guy, it'll be like, oh, let me check out and see if there's any breaking news, and there'll be something breaking off. No, I don't open. You open X in the privacy of your home. That's why they changed the name.
Probably, yeah.
Twitter, my butt. X.
I never got on that platform, so I don't plan on getting on it now.
I'm thinking, like it sounds bad. I don't mean to sound prudish, but I have thought about ditching X as well. It's kind of gotten kind of out of control, and all you got to do, you're like, oh, she looks good in that outfit. Let me go to her page and her page, and next thing you know, it didn't broke off on X. You got to be careful on X.
Well, coming back to Elmo.
Like Elmo to X. Okay, sorry about that. Let's listen.
Elmo also sent a good luck hug to Mr. Usher ahead of his halftime performance. He shared a video of Usher singing the ABC song with Elmo and several other Muppets on Sesame Street.
See, I'm twisting all this stuff around. Nice job, Elmo. But speaking of sending out hugs, Usher's getting enough heat for some of the hugs he gave with Alicia Keys out there.
Yeah, I know. I saw that. I did not know that Alicia Keys was married, but it's been like all over my TikTok of like people like reenacting like how Alicia Keys' husband reacted to Usher grabbing
Usher's
on
over
her.
singing "You'll Always Be My Boo" while he's getting all cuddly.
Yeah.
And then Elmo sending out hugs. I'm like, I'm just saying, pump your brakes. All right.
Ooh, okay.
You didn't think these would take this long, did you?
No, I didn't. I honestly thought we were gonna speed through these. All right.
Surprise.
Puppy Bowl 20. The results are in. Team Ref wins. I did not watch the Puppy Bowl. I honestly forgot that was a thing. Puppy Bowl.
Okay. First off, talking about something way past its prime, they need to put Puppy Bowl down.
That's a poor choice of words.
Was it really a poor choice of words?
Poor choice of words.
It's time to put Puppy Bowl down. Who's watching Puppy Bowl? But okay, you know what? I didn't even know about the Nickelodeon cast, and I saw that, and I'm like, actually, that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
So maybe Puppy Bowl is something, but I'm thinking, I'm watching Elmo and Dora the Explorer before I'm watching Puppy Bowl. It's gone. It's past its prime.
I assume, if they're still going with it, a bunch of people are watching it.
Listen, there is nothing. Okay, if you own a network and you're running a network and you have a time slot and you're like, oh, hey, you're going up against the Super Bowl. You're not putting your prime stuff out there. You're like, shh, throw some Puppy Bowl out there, Cat Bowl 9. No one's putting their top stuff out against the Super Bowl. You're just getting beat down in the ratings. Just throw Puppy Bowl 19 out there.
Honestly, you just said Cat Bowl. I would definitely watch a Cat Bowl. That would be an interesting thing.
Listen, I'm just finding out about Dora and SpongeBob doing their own little thing. So, okay.
Alrighty. Also, we had a number of celebrity appearances at the Super Bowl. Of course, Taylor Swift was there. Everybody knows Taylor Swift was there. We had Blake Lively was also in the box with Taylor Swift, and we also had Ice Spice, who is a up-and-coming female rapper. Then, of course, Post Malone. He sang America's Beautiful, whatever the name of that song is.
Okay, I'm just going to let her keep on rolling. Let me take a sip.
We had Gwen Stefani. LeBron James was there. Lady Gaga. Beyonce and Jay-Z. Did not know this. Found out this morning. Justin Bieber was at the Super Bowl and did not like guest appear in Usher's performance.
We're upset about this, though.
I'm upset about it.
Everyone's all salty because they didn't see the beads.
Yeah, I was upset about it too. We also had Paul Rudd, Gordon Ramsay, and Guy Fieri were also at the Super Bowl. Miss Queen Latifah, love her. Luke Combs and Jeff Goldblum, and I'm sure there were plenty of others.
Okay, I got a question on this one. Maybe you have the answer. Maybe you may have to look it up a little bit. Is it true that Kanye West bought a box or something near Taylor Swift's box, and Taylor Swift complained about it, and Kanye got thrown out of the Super Bowl? Is that true?
I don't know. That's crazy, though.
Is that if listen, I'm not trying to break no news or start anything, but I did see this on TikTok, and we all know TikTok cannot be your top choice of sources for things. You got to check things. I'm merely asking Faith. Y'all just hearing behind the scenes. This is Faith and I having a little private conversation y'all don't need to worry about. But is that true? Because I saw that Sheba, and his whole plan was whenever they panned to Taylor Swift in the box, Kanye would be right there by them, and they threw him out. Is that true? See, okay. I got Faith looking hard. I have no clue, but that's kind of, you didn't hear it from me. I just saw it on.
I don't see that, but it says he was booed by the crowd at the Super Bowl with his kids.
Kanye got booed.
His kids were there too, and they booed him and his kids.
Okay, while you're looking this up, Kanye, I think, is one of the most talented dudes ever. Love Kanye's music, some of the best albums I've ever heard. But this dude he's turning into the grumpy old weird man.
He's gone off the rails.
The teeth, the hoodie, the mask, all this stuff. And yeah, they were talking about he had the mask with his own little logo on it, and that they had him, that he was removed. So
okay,
I'm not reporting this. I just saw this.
They're saying allegedly he was kicked out of the Super Bowl for buying seats in her suite.
Okay, if you are Taylor Swift, the last man on the planet you want to be in your booth, near your booth, is Kanye West, right?
Right, yeah.
Just think about that history.
Yes.
Taylor Swift wins. Hey, wait a minute. The best album of the year was Beyonce. Dude, this wasn't even your moment. Get off the stage. She should have dropped an elbow on him. See, I'm pro elbow.
That also happened to her this year, too.
I know.
I don't know if it was announced like on stage, but I know Jay-Z like on social media was like, Beyonce should have gotten album of the year.
Did she have an album this year?
I don't know.
I don't think she has. She got that Boot Scoot Boogie album coming out.
Or like
all her exes live in Texas. A country album coming out.
That will be I might have to honestly listen to that. I don't like country music, but just the fact that it's Beyonce doing a country album, it's just like, that's interesting.
Okay, I'm gonna keep it real. I'm gonna go and I will listen to it on like what Apple Music or something. I'll listen. I may listen to a little bit, but I'm gonna let you know this right now. The brother won't be spending one dime on that country album. She can keep her little country grammar to herself. I will not be buying that sucker. I'm gonna let y'all know. Then Jay-Z, what? She comes out a country album. Jay-Z comes out with a heavy metal album. They meet in the middle.
I would listen to a Jay-Z heavy metal album.
Of course you would, Miss Headbanger Ball. I just learned that Faith is a big time headbanger in the car when she's driving on the road.
Yeah, I'm a metalhead.
I cannot see that.
I know I don't look like a metalhead, but I love metal.
See, I learned this week. I learned she loves metal and apparently Usher with her shirt off. These are things I did not think I would ever learn about her.
Alrighty, guys. Okay. Well, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to be discussing how name, image, and likeness has led to a glaring lack of depth in the 2024 NFL Draft.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
I wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow up from the basement. Statement, the top is so vacant. I don't hear shit that I think is amazing. Waiting for my day when I'm playing sold out shows for 1,000 faces. Hey, give me that crown, get in my way and to be put down. It ain't your place, all this my town. If I want that shit, then I'll get it right now. I'm losing it, the noose it fits, some losing shit, a stupid myth. You choose to live or choose to dip, you choose to fight or lose your grip and lose a gift.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind?
Alrighty, guys, welcome back. Earlier we were talking about Super Bowl 58's viral moments, and now we're going to be discussing how name, image, and likeness has affected the NFL draft. But before we do, I just wanted to remind you guys to like and follow the show. Also, we get a number of questions from the viewers that come in during the show, so to ensure your question gets read on the air, I ask that you use the tips and donation link with your question. That link is streamelements.com/gsmcsportsnetworks./tip. This puts your question at the top of the list so that I can see it, and it also just really helps the show. Alrighty.
This is one I've been having this conversation with so many people before this ever came out, so I'm looking forward to touching on this one. So go ahead.
Alrighty. The Chiefs hoisted the Lombardi trophy Sunday night after a superb final to the postseason, and with that, we are officially in draft season. But the depth of talent blooming this spring is much less robust than years past, a direct result of name, image, and likeness rules and the transfer portal keeping significantly more players in college football. The NFL announced that 54 underclassmen were granted early entry to this year's draft. That is less than half the numbers the league is accustomed to applying for early admission over the past decade, including a record of 135 players in 2014. But for most, the biggest allure of the NFL has always been money. With the Supreme Court's ruling in 2021 that collegiate athletes are entitled to payment for their own name, image, and likeness, more players are choosing the relative easy money of marketing deals in the present rather than the potential NFL contracts in the future.
Okay. This is why I am so pro name, image, and likeness. Everyone's looking at this, but a lot of people, not everyone, a lot of people look at this bad thing, like, you don't have as many players in the draft. Well, guess what? Every year for decades, there's been a lot of people in the draft that had no business being in the draft. Let's say you're a poor kid from the inner city, the trailer park, the barrio, whatever you want to call it, wherever you're from, and your mom and dad is on welfare. You're a poor family. Maybe you're struggling to get food, but the one thing you have going for you is you're able to play a game, which is football or basketball. So you're playing, you're really not ready to go to the NFL. But you know, hey, if I make the practice squad, I'm gonna make 200,000. Or if I'm Mr. Irrelevant, like Brock Purdy, maybe I can get on, but he's making 900,000.
Mm-hmm.
And you're looking around and you're like, hey, we're having a hard time keeping the lights on, the water on, trying to get fed. I can take a chance. And the worst case scenario is I get there and I make a little money, 100,000, 200, 300, 400,000 to some very poor people. That's life-changing money for them. Mom is okay. Now I can pay mom's electric bill and her car payment and this and that. And same for dad and aunt and uncle. So there's a lot of kids, they look around and the scouts say, hey, you could be a 5th round draft pick or a 6th round draft pick or a 7th rounder. Or, hey kid, you're not going to get drafted, but you can get on with a team and maybe make the practice squad. And they're like, how much does practice squad pay? Maybe a couple 100,000. Hey, I'm going. And they're not ready for the NFL. They get chewed up and spit out. Maybe they're a camp, what are called a camp body. They go there, they play in training camp, they get a few $1,000s, and their career is over. Where they should have stayed in college, they could have gotten their degree, they could have polished their craft so that now instead of just making a practice squad, now they're getting drafted, even more money. Maybe instead of being a late round or Mr. Irrelevant or in there.
You did. I lost you.
Oh, I have.
I
Okay,
lost
you're there.
you.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay. So, did you lose me completely then?
Yeah.
How far?
For a
How
second.
back? Okay.
You were talking about how kids for a while were going into the NFL draft and not finishing college because they weren't getting paid. And
Right. So these kids now, let's say, like I said, let's say you're a quarterback at Arkansas. You're not good enough to really be a starter or backup, but maybe but you're from a poor family. You can go to training camp and maybe make a team. Worst case scenario, you're getting a few $1,000s to be in a training camp, and maybe next year, maybe you'll get on at the World League or something, or USFL or XFL or whatever league is out there. But you're just trying to make some money because you're from a poor family, from a poor upbringing. Now, you're a quarterback at Arkansas and you're getting 200, 300,000 a year.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to the NFL. I have no shot. Maybe I stick around 2, 3, 4 years, and maybe now I get drafted. Maybe now I'm able to do something. Or even if you're not, my family with a few 100,000 a year for 4 years or 5 years, your family and your life is starting up at a different level. Right. You have some money, you have your degree now. It's just a much better situation for a team or a player. I use a great example of this is Maurice Clarett. He was an all-world running back for the Ohio State Buckeyes. And he wanted to turn pro. So he tried to challenge the NFL because you have to 3 years from graduating. So he tried to go turn pro early. He tried to challenge the NFL because he was from a poor environment. Mm-hmm. Now, so then it ended up he didn't win. He had to set out. He finally came in and he was a massive flop. Well, that would have never happened in today's society, today's world. As a top flight running back for Ohio State, he's making a few 100,000 a year. He's gonna wait.
Yeah.
Till it's time. Maybe he walks out of college, maybe $500,000 to $1 million before he steps foot on the NFL. And so now he's able to do these things. Mm-hmm. So many guys are like, hey, he's injured. I'm going to turn pro and maybe I can rehab with a team and then maybe get on with a team. Now these guys, hey, you rehab with your school because you're getting that name, image, and likeness money. And then maybe you come back, you show that you can do what you can do, and you move up in the rankings, move up in the draft. Name, image, and likeness is a good thing. I know a lot of people look at name, image, and likeness, and they're like, these players are blowing it on diamond rings and Rolls Royces and things like that. Yes, there are people and players that are doing that, but that is a small minority of people that are doing it. For every one person that is getting the diamond necklace and the Rolex or Breitling watch, there's somebody else that's helping mom pay the electric bill, maybe paying the rent, giving their kids or their kids or their parents a different life. I love this. This is not a bad thing. And also when you look at the fact that the NFL has less players to choose from, the players that are going to be in the draft are more equipped. Now they don't have to rush into the NFL. So these are more polished players. So these players, when the NFL team drafts them, they're more likely to stick than the average player, that the lower late round picks that are just worthless. The NFL's draft used to be a few more rounds, but the reason why they did away with those extra rounds were these players were not ready for the NFL and teams didn't want to bother with it. Now these players have a chance. I love it. So it's a good thing. What do you say to that?
Yeah, no, I definitely feel like I've always been the person that's like, if you're going to use players' name, image, and likeness, I feel like they should be compensated for that, because
schools were making millions off of them.
Right, and they weren't getting anything out of that, and I don't think that is fair. So I definitely agree with them getting paid for the name, image, and likeness.
Imagine this, Faith, and I apologize if I cut you off.
No, you're good.
Okay, let's say there's a game called SimCity out there. And let's say there's a game and it's SimCity, Georgia. And you can walk around the campus of SimCity. And one of the characters is Faith. And Faith, it's you, it's your image, it's everything about you. The game and the school is making millions off this. But you're a poor college student, barely able to make it. And you look over there and you're like, wait a minute, the school is making all this money off of me. The game is making all this money off of me. Is that right? Now you're struggling just to stay in school.
Yeah.
Now, imagine if that game now cuts you a check so that it pays for all your school and maybe gives you $30,000-$40,000 extra dollars a year. How much would that change? That guarantees you're staying in college and you're not dropping out now. You're going to finish your degree. It gives it. Same with football. There's video games and all this stuff that these schools make money off of, and all these organizations that make money off of, and the kids are making nothing. Now they are. So I think it's a really good thing.
Do you think there is reason to believe the junior player pool will ever return to its pre-name, image, and likeness and transfer policy strength?
No. The genie is out of the bottle, and it's like I said, it's a good thing. These players, I think you're going to find over the years that the players are a much higher caliber, and there's less NFL cuts where they're cutting so many players. These draft picks are going to be, these people that they're drafting are like, these are players that can contribute to a team right out the gate. And so it's going to make it a lot easier it's going to, in the end, I think it's going to balance out, because what happens is every year there's way more players than teams. And so most of the players that get drafted never have a shot at all. But now there's going to be much more higher caliber players that are available for drafting. And the players that don't make it, let's say your football dream is over, but you have a savings account, you have some money, your mom and dad are taken care of, and you have your degree. There's going to be a lot more kids. There's going to be a lot more student athletes that graduate. Look at it over the next 10 years. I think people are going to be surprised at the number of student athletes that actually graduate, because it's like, hey, I was never good enough to make it, but I was good enough to make a little money and stay in school, pay my tuition, and graduate. Now these kids that are graduating have a little money, they were able to play a little football, and they don't graduate in debt, because a lot of times, yes, you get a scholarship, but it doesn't cover, let's say, all the other stuff that you have to do. And so kids end up getting student loans and things of that nature because it doesn't cover everything. And so many of these athletes come out in debt. Or some especially, forget about football, the basketball player, the gymnast, the soccer player. Some of these guys are getting name, image, and likeness money as well. They're able to graduate without being in debt, and that gives you a leg up on life there. Not being in debt and maybe having a little money changes everything.
It sure does. Man, I wish I was getting some name, image, and likeness money.
That's right. That's right. Like I said, a little Sim City, Georgia. Next thing you know, Faith is getting a check cut to her.
Heck yeah, I'd love that.
I would play that game.
All right, guys. Well, with that, we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we'll be discussing a woman who falls in a dumpster after tossing out her trash.
For the best and latest podcasts available anywhere, go to the podcast app on your cell phone and type in GSMC to access free content-rich podcasts on health and wellness, book reviews, sports, entertainment, relationships, social media, movies, technology, finance, and even weird news. Subscribe and download the GSMC Podcast Network's family of shows, available everywhere podcasts are found.
Alrighty, guys, welcome back. Earlier we were discussing name, image, and likeness and it affecting the NFL draft. And now we will be discussing a woman who falls in a dumpster after tossing her trash out. Before we dive into that, though, you guys couldn't see because I had it where it was just my face on here. Tate is over here like... messing with his head.
No. Well, actually, what I was trying to do is be silly with you. And I was saying, because yesterday she was like, "You're bald." And I'm like, "Look, it's starting to come in again."
The hair is growing back.
Yeah, there's a little scruff on the side, a little sideburns coming in. Hercules.
Alrighty.
Sorry, Faith.
So a woman tossing trash falls into a dumpster and survives getting compacted in a garbage truck. Whew. Honestly, I will say before I dive into this, I understand. This is honestly has been kind of like a little fear of mine because I'm so short, and so tossing stuff into the dumpsters is very hard for me. And I always think oh my gosh, what if I fall in here and then the trash truck comes and then puts me in the trash truck and then that's how I die. That would be an awful way to go.
I don't mean to laugh. I'm not laughing about compacted little Faith going to the trash compactor in the sky. No, we're not talking about that.
Trash compactor in the sky.
But it did make me think, you fall in a dumpster, someone finds you, it's like another man's trash is another man's treasure, I guess, in this particular case.
Ooh.
Oh. The sound effects, that's awesome. Okay.
So a woman fell into a dumpster while throwing out her garbage and was later rescued from a trash truck that had compacted the contents while she was inside. Fire department officials in New Hampshire said. Luckily, neighbors heard her screams and the trash compartment was equipped with a camera. The driver spotted the woman stuck inside and called 911. By then, the driver had reportedly compacted the garbage up to 4 times, the Manchester Fire Department said in a news release. Rescuers used a basket ladder to reach the top of the truck and lift her out. By then, she was standing / talking / yelling, but was not alert enough to answer questions. The woman was taken to the hospital after Monday's misadventure. Her name was not released. In 32 years, I've never seen anything like this in my whole career. Battalion Chief Bob Bequedet. I don't.
Bob. His name is Bob.
Chief Bob.
Bob SquarePants.
Told WMUR TV. It's alarming because you don't really think it's true. Okay, so the driver spotted the woman inside because the back of it is equipped with a camera, but it was already compacted 4 times.
4 times, yes.
4 times, and you knew that she was in there. Why are you compacting garbage when you know that somebody is in the back of your truck?
No. I took it as, because the compacting, they kind of smash it. That's why I said SquarePants, because they smash everything.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, you think they had already done it before?
Yeah, he had already smashed it, but he was just kind of checking his work, and then saw arm, leg, and Becky screaming over there like, "Yo, stop smashing me." That is horrible. Could you imagine?
No, I'm claustrophobic, so tight spaces already freak me out. And then imagine sitting in the back of a garbage truck thinking, well, this is my last day on Earth. I'm going to get compacted with all this trash and get taken to the dump.
Man. And think about it. I could totally see someone like you, especially, not meaning to, you're short and small. Mm-hmm. So a lot of those dumpsters are tall. So you got to kind of climb up there and, next thing you know, you tumble on in and it's good. It's like, good night.
Yeah.
Wow. That would be rough.
At my last apartment complex, the dumpster didn't have like a little side door that I could just toss my trash in. So I'd literally have to heave my trash up into the dumpster and hope that it would fall into the dumpster. But I did have multiple occasions where I would kind of have to climb up in the dumpster and push it. So I understand falling into the dumpster while trying to get your trash in there.
And the scary thing that popped in my head is, think about how many homeless people have climbed in dumpsters.
Yeah.
And get compacted. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? That is spooky. I think, that's probably why they have that little side window, because people are probably dropping in there because I've seen videos where they open up a dumpster and it's just full of raccoons. Mm-hmm. Where the little trash pandas climb up in there trying to get a little snack and some Skittles and whatever, and they get stuck in there.
Tate is fixated on Skittles now for some reason. He's mentioned Skittled 3 times this week.
Skittles. You got me laughing on that one. But yeah, could you imagine you're freaking the hell out at that point. You drop in there. At first you probably fall in there and you're probably like, oh, I got trash in my hair. I messed up my outfit. Yeah. And then, Duke the dumpster comes over there. And next thing you know, you hear that sucker starts getting lifted up. The hell with your outfit and your hair. You're just trying to hope yo, get me out of here. And those things are noisy.
They're
so
noisy.
You could be screaming.
And they dump it in the truck several times. My trash comes in on Monday, and I remember some Mondays I would have a late class, and so I would try to sleep in, and then the trash truck would wake me up at 8 o'clock in the morning because they're doing it several times to try and get all the trash out. I'm surprised even without her managing not to get compacted, I am surprised that she didn't get she didn't break any bones or anything from falling from the dumpster into the trash truck.
Yes, you're tumbling in things, and before you fall in there, and those dumpsters are big. That's one of the reasons why, one of the things I love that they do here in Portugal is so cool is they store the trash underground. So the dumpsters are there, they're giant, but they're all underground, and there's just a little cylinder, and the cylinders, and you walk over and there's a bio waste, there's cans, there's plastic, and this one, and you open them up and you just dump them into the little tube, and everything goes there, and all the trash is not above ground but below ground. So then middle of the night they just dump them, but they're too small that a person probably wouldn't be able to dive in there.
I was about to say, I would be scared that I would fall in.
No, they're just round tubes that are about, for you, about chest height, maybe sternum height, that you just dump your trash into. You walk over there. There's no fault leaning in there and anything to get it, because it's like way safer and exponentially cleaner, because those dumpsters get over full. Things are dropping off everywhere. They just store the trash underground. It's just cleaner, smells better. But man, I'm glad. The great thing about this story is she survived.
Yeah.
Man, that would be an uncomfortable moment.
Imagine that obituary, man.
Oh, I am not writing that obituary. Not on this show today.
Be an unfortunate obituary. I would be like, lie for, don't mention that.
Don't mention the dumpster. There's some things you just let it slide. Let's not talk about dumpster gate over here.
Dumpster gate. Oh my goodness.
You're the one that started it. You started out with like, let's dive in this. First thing I thought was dumpster diving, and you said let's dive into it. So that's what I thought it was, dumpster diving. So. Man, that is crazy. And then it made me also think about, I too much social media where people are going to dumpsters and they're diving into dumpsters because companies like Best Buy and some of these places, they throw out a lot of some of the products that they're not selling anymore, and they're finding all this stuff and putting it on eBay. So there's a lot of people diving in dumpsters around the country. And you dive in that sucker at the wrong time, and you don't got a loud enough voice, you could end up compacted 4 times as well. The moral of the story, stay the heck out of dumpsters.
Yeah. I used to watch this girl on YouTube. I don't know if she still does anymore, but she would go like into the dumpsters behind like Ulta and Sephora and dumpster dive in there and get like free makeup. But yeah. I would never dumpster dive. I would never do that.
There was a restaurant. I don't know if it's still around or if the city shut it down. It wasn't a restaurant. It was kind of like a food place. In San Francisco, they would go around to different restaurants and dumpster dive and take the food out. And the food that seemed safe, they would reconstitute it and make food and serve it to people, to the homeless. Yeah, and I thought that was crazy.
Why are you giving them food that was in the trash?
Because a lot of times, a lot of the restaurants, let's say you're a bread factory, let's go back. Many years ago, I used to wait tables at a Baker Square restaurant, and they're famous for making pies. And the pies they would only sell them if they were made that day. So any pie is just made that morning. But any pie that wasn't sold, they would put them in, they would throw them out. And so people would wait for them, and so that there's a lot of restaurants and factories that throw things out one day old. And I mean, it's not even one day, it's like made that morning, tossed out that afternoon. And some of these places are grabbing it and redistributing, or, like I said, some of the people are selling some of the stuff.
Well, if they do that, if their plan is after the restaurant will like throw food away and they go and redistribute it, why don't they just go into the restaurant and speak to the owners and like ask them, hey, if you have anything left over from today that you guys are just going to throw away, give them to us, and then we will distribute them to people.
Some people will do that. Some restaurants will not, because they're worried about liability. We give you a pie that we wouldn't serve in our own store, or some food that we wouldn't sell in our own store. Someone eats it and gets sick.
Yeah.
Then who's liable? Next thing, people are very, lawsuit happy. So yeah, there's some fine lines. I like the way you're thinking, though.
Yeah. That's
That's you're like, I could tell you were thinking, decided, nope, I'm not gonna go there. That's
no, because I could go into a whole thing about that, but we don't have enough time.
we need a segment with just things going on in Faith's mind.
I don't think you want that.
So, okay, what do we do? The segment is, we start the show, and each segment Faith has to do 2 shots until the 4th segment, and then Faith just gives everything that's on her mind.
Do that. You do not want me to do that.
We're canceled, folks. That's what happened.
You don't want me to do that.
We'll call it Keeping the Faith.
Oh, hilarious.
All right.
All right, guys. Well, with that, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to dive into our oddities of the day. Alrighty, guys, welcome back. Earlier we were discussing a woman who got stuck in a dumpster truck after tossing her trash in a dumpster, and now, as always, at the end of the show, we are going to talk about our oddities of the day. So this one kind of relates to our first segment when we were talking about viral moments in the Super Bowl. I just saw this and I thought it was absolutely hilarious, and so I had to talk about it on the show.
I'm already when Faith gets excited, but I gotta hear it. I'm looking forward to this.
So Leonardo DiCaprio's dating history was roasted on TV by SpongeBob SquarePants.
Okay.
SpongeBob SquarePants went viral after the animated character took a shot at Oscar winner Leonardo DiCaprio's dating history during the first ever Nickelodeon Super Bowl 2024 live stream. In a clip uploaded to X, both SpongeBob and Patrick Star can be heard comparing the actor 49 to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle character of the same name in his love for pizza. Patrick Star said, "Catch me if you can with these pizzas. Leonardo DiCap is low."
Okay.
Things only get more unhinged when SpongeBob, voiced by Tom Kenny, jumped into the conversation with Leonardo DiCaprio, 25, referring to a scene in the cartoon where he and Star go nuts over the digit. And then SpongeBob chimed in, "That's about his dating history." So I don't know if you know, but
I'm confused on this whole thing right now. So this is all you, Faith. Let me hear this one.
So there's a chart somewhere that you can find on the internet of Leonardo DiCaprio's dating history and how he only dates women under the age of 25, and after they reach past 25, somehow the relationship just comes to an end. So, and then 25 is also a reference to a SpongeBob episode when Patrick and SpongeBob were laughing at the number 25 for some reason. It was just a dumb thing in an episode. Is like, what's funnier than 24? And they say 25, and then they laugh.
Oh, I'm checking out the chart. I didn't know this.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Dang,
he's racking them up.
Oh,
too.
if you hit 25, it is canceled Christmas on you.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. 18, and he's like, well, how old is he now? Like 72?
He's almost 50. He's almost 50, so he's dating women half his age. And once
listen, I'm not hating on him I'm not. I'm just gonna say, if you can swim in those waters, do the backstroke. That's just saying. But sorry, Faith.
I understand, like, it's Leonardo DiCaprio, like, Jack from Titanic, and all these other movies he was in, Wolf of Wall Street, whatever. But Leonardo,
Wolf of something, I think. Wolf of 20-year-olds.
Leonardo DiCaprio does not look how he looked when he was in Titanic. He, in my opinion, Leonardo DiCaprio is not aging as well as some of these other male actors.
So you say he's aging like spoiled milk then?
Yes, not fine wine.
I am looking at, first off, I didn't. Did you knew about this chart then?
Yeah, I knew.
No.
Yeah, because there's this joke that either for women, either you get a birthday cake on your 25th birthday that says you're like past Leonardo DiCaprio, you can't date Leonardo DiCaprio anymore, or you get the 25 reference from SpongeBob. Normally that's like the trend now. But yeah, it's
starting to look like when you're old enough to go to the bar and drink legally, it's over for you.
Once you're old enough to rent a car, Leonardo DiCaprio says, nah.
If you can sign for your own student loan, you got no shot at all with DiCaprio. 18 to 20, like, there's only 3 people that's 25. No one's over 25. They're always, wow.
Yeah. I can't believe you didn't know that.
No, I didn't know this at all. The things that people like find out and study about you. Dang. But you know what though? I'm looking at this chart. This is all new to me, people. So I apologize for all you in the know. Let's say I'm gonna throw out those 25ers because there's very few 24 and 25s. They're really 23 to 18 to 23, and I'm not gonna hate on him because he's always in that legal zone. He's not
He's in the legal zone.
Well, ain't nobody calling him R. Kelly. That's all I'm saying. Nobody's calling him R. Kelly. 18 to 23 is his sweet spot. You got blonde hair, blue-eyed, 18 to 23. He is doing his thing during that time.
Yeah.
But if you're able to rent a car, sign for your own student loan, go to a bar, you know what? You need to start making alternative plans because it's like, happy birthday, Becky. Becky just turned 22. She starts sweating. The Titanic is about to sink. Becky.
It's like the moment they start getting like crow feet.
Crow's feet? No, you don't get crow's feet at 23, 24.
I got them a little bit. They're coming in.
I'm just saying, I did not know this. So, but yeah, so once you're age to start drinking, you need to start casting your line out there. Like, okay, I got Leonardo. Oh, let me see, George Clooney. Hey, Mr. Clooney, how you doing today? Because Leonardo's clipping you soon.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I know. I'm almost close to that age. So,
girl, you got no shot now. It is I'm 3
years
done.
Away. Well, I'm 3 years away right now. I guess 2, because my birthday's this year. So
He's already casting at that age, you know.
I'm also not blonde either, so
Yeah, are you noticing? Did you notice the old?
yeah, a lot of them are blondes. Yes.
And listen, I am just seeing this, so I don't have any facts. I'm just going off of what I have seen on the chart. Didn't even know the chart existed.
Yeah, it's pretty
But
bad.
man, they all kind of like I look at the chart. Don't they all look like they're all like relatives and family members or something? They're all a certain look. Do you have you seen the chart? Like they all kind of look.
Excluding Naomi Campbell, she's on the list. But yes,
Not on my chart. Naomi don't
Campbell.
make that. Well, let me see if there's another chart here. I'm looking at all the charts, and Naomi did not make the list on the charts. I'm seeing like 10 different charts, and she must have been she didn't make the casting couch or something, because she is not on the ones I have seen.
Yeah, he dated
But-
Naomi Campbell in 1995. She was 25, and he was 21.
Oh, you know, that's a dirty little secret there. That 25 age, that's like
Yeah, most of
25ers
them
don't make the list.
Most of them look the same. I will say his past 2 girlfriends have been brunettes.
Okay, see, we're looking at different charts, and there's not one Naomi Campbell, not one brunette anywhere on the charts I'm seeing. They're all blonde hair, blue-eyed. Oh, you know what? I'm looking at some pictures though, and there's a couple of brunettes in here. Oh, wait a minute. I have another one. Oh, see, okay, now I have it. I see Naomi Campbell, 25. She's the oldest one. I'm not gonna say anything. Okay, yeah, you sure there's a brunette on this? Are you talking about in 2018?
Yeah, Camilla.
That was kind of like
And Nina.
what do you call
Nina
that?
was a
That's like
brunette too.
that's like the dirty blonde, and the Nina one I see. That looks like a dirty blonde as well. Like that's still almost blonde. you know he might have had cataracts or
type.
something. It kind of
He's got a type. You got to be blonde, and you got to be under the age of 25.
Neo. You see, and that shows you when you look at Leonardo's chart. That shows you how bad Naomi Campbell was, because he bucked the trend with her. He was like, I'm throwing this all away for this one. This one is a little special.
Yeah.
Because one of these things are not like the others.
Yeah. One of these things just doesn't belong.
Yeah. I didn't mean to go down that path, but wow.
I just want to say, Leonardo DiCaprio, maybe start dating some people your own age, and maybe you'll have longer lasting relationships.
Okay. There is a celebrity. I'm not gonna put him out there, but he made a rule years ago.